Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Kimothy, and on this channel we speak everything personal finance. And in today's video, I'm going to be giving you 10 essential financial strategies that can help you manage your money more wisely at every income level. So this is not just for people making $40,000 a year, but this is also people making $100,000 a year. These strategies can help you feel more in control of your financial future, no matter where you're starting from. So let's dive in, with the first one being spend less than you earn. Now this may sound easier than it actually is, but by spending less than you earn, you will ensure that you're not running out of money by the end of the month. And when you run out of money by the end of the month, that's when you start relying on credit cards. And then when you're relying on credit cards, you just kind of dig yourself a hole. And that's how people get into thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars of credit card debt. So spend less than you earn. And you can do this by starting a budget. If you don't know what a budget is basically writing down all your expenses and setting a certain amount of money to go towards each expense. For example, you might say you want to have $500 going towards groceries. So you try your hardest to not go over $500 for groceries. Another thing would be saying you want to go out to eat. So you want to go out to eat for maybe $300 a month. You want to try your hardest to not pay more than $300 a month when going out to eat. And sometimes you might go over your budget, and that's okay, but just ensure that you're keeping track of your numbers so you can know how much you're spending in certain categories. And honestly, spending less than what you earn is basically living below your means. Stop living like the Joneses, stop living like the people you see on Instagram or TikTok, because at the end of the day, we don't really know their financial situation. They may make a lot more than you do, or they may make a lot less than you do, but relying on credit card debt. So you want to really live within your means, and one way to live within your means is by not buy too much house. Don't rent more than you can afford. You might have to live in a single bedroom house. You might have to live in a bedroom in a house because it's the cheapest thing for you right now, and it's the best thing for your financial situation. And strategy 2 is to be future minded. So basically we want to think about the future. We don't want to just think about the present, and we don't want to dwell on the past. We want to think about the future. What will your financial future look like? What do you want your financial future to look like? What do you want your financial future to look like next month? What do you want your financial future to look like next year? And what about in 5 years? Where do you want to be financially in 5 years? So you really want to set specific goals so that you can accomplish them. Or example would be, say you want to build an emergency fund, and your emergency fund number was about $10,000, and you want to build it within a year. So you can just do 10,000 divided by 12 and you'll get $833, and that's how much you're going to save every month. That is super specific, and you know that within a year, if you save $833 and you don't have to use it, then you're going to have $10,000 saved for your emergency fund. By being a planner, this will reduce your financial stress in a lot of situations. So be sure to plan out your financial future and stop living for today, but live for your future self. And strategy 3 is to save and invest regularly. Now, this is something that I do to this day. I've really been hammering down on being sure that I save and invest regularly. Right now in my time, I want to invest more than I'm saving because I'm really not saving for a specific goal. We have a house, and yes, we have talked about getting another one within a year or two. But right now, I really want to focus on investing. So you want to make sure that you're regularly investing your money, whether it's $50 to $100 or $500, just be sure to invest your money. And I've talked about many places where you can invest your money, but if you forgot, let me remind you, you can invest into something like a Roth IRA or a brokerage account. You can also invest into your 401k, or you can invest in all three. However you want to do it, just be sure that you're investing something and you're doing it regularly. And how I invest regularly is I invest weekly into the stock market. So I kind of catch all the highs and all the lows. If you invest weekly, you're going to miss some, of course, but you got to make sure you're investing something. So I invest weekly, and I'm sure to have everything automated. Automation is key, as I have spoken about many times. By doing so, you don't have to worry about the frequency of your investing because it's done automatically. So when I invest weekly, I don't have to actually go into the app and add money to the account and then add money to whatever stock or whatever ETF I'm investing in. It's automatically invested into that every month. So every Monday, I'm getting notifications that money is coming out of my accounts and going into my retirement. It's going to my future self. You're welcome, future Kimothy. This is all for you. But truly, just continue to invest no matter what the market is. More than likely, if you're watching this video, you have a long time horizon. So don't even worry about the downs of the market. Just keep buying. But of course, this is my personal opinion, and you really just do what you want to do, especially when it comes to investing and saving. And strategy number 4 is going to be follow recommended financial practices. Maintain an emergency fund between 3 to 6 months. calculate your net worth as time goes on, and have a will and other documents in place. So maintain a 3 to 6 month emergency fund. This is very important, especially when times are not certain for your family. I've always say that if you're going to have a 3 months emergency fund, then maybe you're a dual household income. Maybe you have a more stable job. You don't see your job going anywhere. You're pretty secure where you are. Then you might want a 3 month emergency fund. But if you're a single household income, you might not be in the most stable job right now, or you're in a job that has commissions where you're not getting a steady paycheck, then you might want to have a 6 to 12 month emergency fund. It's really up to you, and question you have to ask yourself to see how much money you actually need in an emergency fund. But an emergency fund is very important to have. You're going to be super happy that you have that money set aside. And then calculate your net worth periodically. This is just so you can see where you are, so you can track the progress of where your net worth is going. You want to know whether it's going up or it's going down. If it's going down, you need to make money decisions so that it can start to go up. Me personally, I track my net worth. I'm not looking at it too much because I have so much time to go, but I do track it. I do check it out. I do see where it's going. But my financial situation is very straightforward. It's not really too exciting. It's very simple. So in general, I'm paying down my student loans and I'm investing into the market. So it's paying down my student loans and investing in the market. Hopefully my net worth is going up right now. And it probably is. Have a will and other documents in place. You never know what's going to happen to you. You never know if you're going to pass. You never know what kind of situations will happen. So you want to have a will. You want to have life insurance in place. You want to have these simple protections to protect you and your family if something were to ever happen. The emergency fund and the will kind of go hand in hand with just having protections for yourself and for your family, because you never know when an emergency or a bad situation is going to happen. Strategy 5 is to use money as a tool and not a goal. Money itself is not an end goal. It's a tool to help you achieve what's important to you. So there might be things that are important to you, but not as important to me. So you need to figure out what you want the money that you earn to achieve for you. Do you want to use it for traveling? Do you want it to achieve maybe a bigger investment portfolio? Or do you want to use your money towards starting a business? These are questions that you have to ask yourself and just see what kind of goals you have for yourself. This is why goal setting is super important, especially when it comes to finances, because you want to have a direction of where you want your money to go. Every dollar should have a name, and you want those dollars to go to what's important to you. Just ensure that your personal priorities guide your financial choices. And number 6 is to build and follow a baseline budget. As you can see, budgeting is super important. You need to know what's coming in and you need to know what's going out. With budgeting, it's also very important to separate your needs from your wants, especially if you have a lot of debt or things that aren't raising your net worth. Then you want to really separate those expenses. You kind of want to focus more on your needs and putting that money that will go to your wants to debt, because a lot of these credit card debts are at 20 to 30%. They're taking a lot of money from you just in interest alone. And then if you have extra income, you want to allocate that extra income wisely. So like I said, you can allocate that extra income, instead of putting it towards wants, you can put it towards debts. Or if you already have your debts paid off and you're not investing as much, or you're not where you're supposed to be at your age, then you can put that money towards investments. You can put that money towards the S&P 500, or you can put that money towards individual stocks that you believe are stable and good and will help you build wealth. But creating a budget is key when it comes to building financial future. If you don't know where to start when creating a budget, just start with rent, food, and transportation, and anything that comes with that. So I'm talking about auto insurance, I'm talking about homeowners or renters insurance. Start with those key things, and then you can kind of build off of that to see where you need money to go to. And then hopefully your income grows over years and you can adjust your budget accordingly. So if you're living comfortably on $3,000 a month, then you begin to earn $3,500 or $4,000. Definitely use some of that money to make your life better. Definitely use some of that money to inflate your life, but not too much. But ensure that you're saving and investing the difference. And number 7 is going to be manage debt wisely. Debt can be a very dangerous tool if it's not managed wisely. If you know you're not a credit card person, don't get a credit card. If you have a hard time remembering to pay things off, or if you have a hard time just remembering to handle obligations, don't get a credit card. And if you do have a credit card and you have a lot of debt, stop spending on it, because the more you spend on it, the more interest you're going to pay on it. So you really need to get rid of these credit cards because they're not good for you. But some people are credit card people like me. I'm a credit card person. I pay everything with my credit card, and then I pay it off at the end of the month. And I really do that just to gain some points. And it's a little bit of money compared to the overall spending of the credit card, but it's just something I like to do. You also want to understand the difference between good debt and bad debt. A mortgage is not always a bad debt, especially if you have a low interest rate on it. But even if you don't have a low interest rate on it, a mortgage is generally not considered a bad debt. But a bad debt are those credit cards. No matter how much the percentage is, if you're not paying your credit cards off in full every month, you're doing it wrong. Pay your credit cards in full every month and never pay late fees or incur interest on your credit card. And strategy 8 is to take responsibility for your retirement. You may not want to work for the rest of your life, so you want to start preparing for retirement. No matter how old you are, you should be preparing for retirement. Even now I'm thinking about my retirement, and I retire in 22 years. But you need to be intentional about planning retirement and not just think it's going to just happen to you, because if you're not actively doing things to plan your retirement, to plan for your future self, so take advantage of your employer-sponsored 401ks, especially if they're offering you a match. Like me personally, my company offers me a 5% match to my 401k, so I'm putting in 5% and more to my 401k because I love free money. I just love it. And if your company does not offer a 401k, then take advantage of Roth IRAs or brokerage accounts. Just take advantage of some kind of investment account and put money into it, stockpile money into these accounts, so you don't have to work when you retire in the future. You want to enjoy your life stress-free because you've done such a great job preparing for your future. So just be sure to prioritize your retirement. And honestly, the key to prioritizing retirement is by starting as soon as possible. The earlier you start, the better. And the more consistent you are, the better. And it's so crazy. I've been kind of running numbers to see how much I will have in certain accounts if I continue to invest. So for example, you're able to invest $400 into a brokerage account, and you did that for 22 years. So I'm 27, say I have $0 in my brokerage account, and I invested $400 in my brokerage account for 22 years. So at 50, I will have about $380,000 into my brokerage account. And that would not even be considered my main retirement account, because you might already have a 401k and you might already be investing to your Roth IRA. So this brokerage account is just extra money. So invest early and invest regularly. This is the key. And strategy 9 is to track your financial milestone. Tracking your goals and celebrating your small wins. Did you just pay down a $1,000 credit card? Go celebrate by going getting a dinner, and just be sure to not put it back on that credit card. Or did you just finally build your emergency fund? Maybe you just built your $15,000 emergency fund. That could be your 3 to 6 month emergency fund. Just be sure to celebrate your small win. 15,000 is actually a pretty big win. So be sure to celebrate. Tell people what you're doing. Tell people, I can't go out right now. I'm really trying to focus on this financial goal of saving $15,000. And then when I save $15,000, I'll take you out to eat. We can talk about my journey, and maybe you might motivate that person to get on the journey of saving for their emergency fund. Even a small step forward is worth acknowledging. And strategy 10 is to continue to educate yourself. Financial literacy is a lifelong journey. There's so many tools, there's so many people out there that you can look towards. There's so many books that you can look towards to learn more about finances, and it's always evolving. But at the same time, it's the same thing. Spend less than you make. Spend less and try to earn more. And the gap between the income and the expenses is what you can save. So just continue to improve your financial knowledge and seek out resources. These 10 financial strategies can help you be successful no matter what income level you're at. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one.